Welcome to WWII Heroic Tales, where true stories of courage, sacrifice, and extraordinary heroism come alive from the darkest days of World War II. Join us as we uncover the untold moments that shaped history. Today, we journey to the battlefields of Okinawa in 1945, where one man would perform acts of valor so extraordinary that they would rewrite our understanding of heroism itself. This is the story of Desmond Thomas Doss, a man whose faith and courage would save 75 lives without ever firing a single shot. In the spring of 1942, as the United States plunged deeper into World War II, a young man from Lynchburg, Virginia, made a life-altering decision. Desmond Doss, a devout Seventh-day Adventist, stepped forward to serve his country, but with one profound condition: he would not carry a weapon. As a conscientious objector, Doss faced ridicule and rejection from the military, who initially deemed him unfit for service. Yet his determination was unshakable. "I want to be a combat medic," he insisted, knowing this was his way to serve both his country and his conscience. After months of persistence, Doss was finally accepted into the medical detachment, proving that even in war, principles could find a place alongside patriotism. Assigned to the 77th Infantry Division, Doss faced skepticism from fellow soldiers who saw his refusal to carry a weapon as cowardice. Boot camp became a crucible of ridicule and isolation. Yet Doss remained steadfast, his faith guiding every action. He worked tirelessly to prove his worth, mastering medical skills and earning the respect of those who initially doubted him. His company soon learned that this quiet, unassuming medic possessed courage that would awe even the most battle-hardened soldiers. When his unit deployed to the Pacific Theater in 1944, Doss was ready, not with a rifle in his hands, but with medical supplies and an unwavering determination to save lives. The stage was set for one of WWII's most remarkable stories of heroism. The crucible came in April 1945 during the brutal Battle of Okinawa, one of the bloodiest battles in the Pacific. The 77th Infantry Division was tasked with securing the Mita Escarpment, a treacherous 400-foot cliff that the Japanese defended fiercely. As American troops advanced, they encountered devastating artillery, mortar, and machine gun fire. Wounded soldiers lay scattered across the battlefield, many exposed to enemy fire. It was here, in the chaos of combat, that Desmond Doss's moment of destiny arrived. When his unit was pinned down, Doss alone moved forward into the killing zone, not to attack, but to rescue. Under constant enemy fire, he began treating the wounded, dragging them to safety one by one, his medical kit the only weapon he carried. On May 4, 1945, Doss performed an act of heroism that would become legendary. As his unit advanced near Uraso Mura, Japanese forces launched a fierce counterattack. Grenades exploded and machine gun fire raked the area. Doss, working under intense enemy fire, treated wounded soldiers just 8 yards from enemy lines. When a grenade landed among his patients, he didn't hesitate. He threw himself on top of the wounded men, absorbing the blast with his own body. Miraculously, he survived, though seriously wounded. This was just one of many times Doss would risk everything to save others. His citation for the Medal of Honor would later state he exhibited conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. The most extraordinary chapter of Doss's heroism came on the night of May 21, 1945, during the assault on the Mita Escarpment. As American troops climbed the steep cliff face under constant Japanese fire, many fell wounded, left clinging to the rocks hundreds of feet above certain death. Doss, now serving as a combat medic, worked tirelessly through the night, lowering wounded soldiers down the cliff face using a rope and pulley system. One by one, he carried or dragged the injured men to safety, often exposing himself completely to enemy fire. By dawn, he had saved approximately 75 soldiers, nearly an entire company. This single rescue operation remains one of the most remarkable acts of battlefield heroism in military history, performed by a man who refused to carry a weapon. Even when severely wounded, Doss refused to stop helping others. During the same battle, he was hit by grenade fragments in both legs, yet he continued treating wounded soldiers until he could no longer stand. Later, when a tank attack caused a compound fracture in his arm, Doss crawled 300 yards to an aid station, using a rifle stock as a splint. Throughout his ordeal, his concern was always for others. He even directed litter bearers to help critically wounded men before accepting treatment himself. This selfless dedication earned him the admiration of his entire unit. Men who once mocked his pacifist beliefs now called him the bravest man I ever saw. Doss's actions proved that true courage isn't measured by the ability to take life, but by the willingness to save it. On October 12, 1945, Desmond Thomas Doss stood in the White House, where President Harry S. Truman placed the Medal of Honor around his neck. Doss became the first conscientious objector to receive America's highest military decoration, an extraordinary achievement that recognized heroism defined not by combat, but by compassion. His citation detailed his actions at Okinawa. He unhesitatingly remained exposed to heavy rifle and mortar fire to care for the wounded, repeatedly risking his life to carry casualties to safety. When asked about his heroism, Doss simply said, "I just tried to be faithful to my God and my country." This quiet humility made his story all the more powerful. The Medal of Honor wasn't just recognition for his bravery. It was validation that different forms of courage could coexist on the battlefield. Desmond Doss returned home to Virginia as a war hero, but his journey didn't end there. He spent the rest of his life quietly advocating for peace and helping others, never seeking fame for his wartime actions. In 2016, his incredible story was brought to the world through the acclaimed film Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. The movie, which won 2 Academy Awards, introduced Doss's heroism to new generations and cemented his place as one of WWII's most extraordinary figures. Doss's legacy continues to inspire people worldwide, a testament to the idea that true heroism transcends traditional notions of combat. His life proves that in the darkest of times, compassion and courage can shine brighter than any weapon. Thank you for joining WWII Heroic Tales. Through the stories of brave souls from World War II, we honor their memory and keep their legacy alive for history and generations to come. Desmond Doss's story reminds us that heroism takes many forms, that the greatest courage often lies not in taking lives, but in saving them. As we reflect on his remarkable journey from conscientious objector to Medal of Honor recipient, we're reminded of the power of faith, determination, and selfless service. The men of the 77th Infantry Division who once doubted him became his strongest advocates, understanding that true bravery is measured by the heart, not by the hand that holds a weapon. Desmond Doss proved that on the battlefield of life, the greatest victories are won not through force, but through compassion.